At Electrifying, we try every car so you don't have to go and buy each and every one of them and try them out.
True.
And that will help your buying decision as well. But that's not all of it. We are actually very confident at saying we are experts.
We're
at
the
this
electric
thing.
experts, we
Yeah,
are.
and that's because we actually buy them, we try them, we own them as well. And
Yeah, well, what that means is we know how much they cost to run because we pay the bills.
Exactly.
We take them for their MoTs. We live with them long enough to know how all the buttons and the switches and the technology works.
you mean you come to me for all the tech bits?
All right, I might have Tommy on speed dial, but let's just gloss over that bit, shall we? So, for the first time, we have together in one place the cars we actually own, so we can say what we love and what we hate about them. As you can see, we have quite an eclectic collection of cars. We've got a oldish Nissan Leaf, Ioniq 5, Jaguar I-Pace, Peugeot E208 and a Tesla Model 3. So, which one do you think I drive and which one do you think Tommy drives? Let us know in the comments below.
And while you're at it as well, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and there's also a little bell notification that you need to select as well. So every time we upload a new video, you get notified. Right, shall we match these cars to these lot? This is the oldest car on our fleet and is owned by Tom, our editor-in-chief. And this is the 2015 Leaf with a tiny 24 kilowatt hour battery. But Tom loves it though. I've seen his face every time he drives this. Let's hear it from the man himself.
This is my 6-year-old Nissan Leaf. We have done 51,000 miles in. It does not have a name. One of the things I like about this car is it's so efficient and so cheap to run. So we're averaging over the course of those 50,000 miles about 4 miles per kilowatt, which is pretty good. So we can fill it up overnight. It does 85 miles on a charge and it costs about £1.20. So I don't think there's any cheaper way of getting around. Well, actually, it's a lot bigger than you think inside. So I've got lanky teenagers and they do fit in the back seats still. And some of the more modern cars, electric cars, the backs of them are quite small, the doors are quite small, and this still has enough space. So if we replaced it, we'd find it quite difficult to find a car that's got enough space for them, I think. So compared to some modern cars, the charging technology and the range on this is obviously a bit limited. So I think nowadays we're getting about 85 miles to a charge, and you can only charge at 50 kilowatts on a rapid, and it's one of those old shadow mode chargers. But we use it for school runs, we use it for the shops, it's fine. We plug it in at home, we hardly ever rapid charge. The downsides of this older technology is that, of course, some of those menus look a bit old. Technology from the last century. It's got no DAB radio, which means you're limited on what you can listen to. And for some reason, it rips through tyres. I think the tracking goes out very easily when you go over speed bumps, and just because of that instant torque, it does tend to wear through tyres quite easily. The other problem with this car is the app. When we first got it, it was brilliant. You could sit in bed, turn on the charging, change the charging timer, put on the preheating. Nissan seemed to have forgotten about it. It just disappeared one day and you can't get it back. So we no longer have the app that we had 5 years ago, and that's really frustrating. I think I'd really recommend these as a solid second-hand buy. If the range suits you, because it is a bit limited, it's only a 24 kilowatt car, so you're only going to be getting 80, 85 miles out of it. But if that suits you, it's really solid and a great second-hand buy, because it seems to be a bit over-engineered. I think Nissan kind of put lots of engineering into it just to make sure that it didn't break, because it was the first electric car that was kind of properly serious. And as a result, we've really had no problems with it at all. I really worry about whether we're going to be able to sell this car, because it costs us nothing. So it's probably worth what we paid for it 5 years ago now, but that's still only a deposit on a PCP. So I could use this car as that deposit and then pay £200 a month, and then after 3 years have nothing. Or we can just keep running this until it blows up or something. But I don't think we can sell it. Why would we?
Next, we have the newest car on our fleet, and this belongs to Mike, who's our head of design at electrifying.com. Now, he's gone and bought the wackiest car, which is just as wacky as his shirt. No offense. So the Ioniq 5, which arrived last year, has been shaking up the family car market, and he's even won the World Car of the Year award 2022. So maybe the award on Mike's mantelpiece is what swayed him to get this one. Over to you, Mike.
I'm Mike. This is my month-old Hyundai Ioniq 5, and it's definitely not silver, it's gravity gold. It has got a ton of features, but the one thing I found is missing is the rear wiper. And I know Hyundai say that it's got a special roof spoiler which channels air across the rear screen and keeps it clear at all times, but in reality it just doesn't work. You know, it might do if the rain was clean and roads were clean, but they're not. So you do end up with a really filthy rear screen that you have to get out and clean. Well, the one thing I'd change, I know this sounds really fussy, it's lovely in gravity gold, which is what this colour is, but I'm not really a kind of silver gold car guy, really. I like a bit of colour, as you can see from the kind of stuff I wear. I really would like to make this a bit more colourful, so I might consider doing a wrap on it, but I just can't decide what colour to go with at the moment.
So next up is this one, the Jaguar I-Pace. Another winner of the World Car of the Year, in fact, but this time it was back in 2019, not long after it launched. Now, this car was Jaguar's first attempt at going electric, and it's good. It's really good. You know, you can forget the fact that the I-Pace is electric because it's simply an excellent car that is brilliant to drive. It's just a bit of a shame there hasn't been another electric car from Jaguar since, but we do live in hope. Now, in car terms, the I-Pace is well into middle age, but I think it's holding up brilliantly and still stands out against the competition. Not unlike its owner, Ben, who is our COO, which I think stands for Chief Obedience Officer, so I always really try to behave when I'm around him.
Hi, I'm Ben. This is my first electric car. I chose the I-Pace because Ginny voted for it as World Car of the Year. I couldn't work for Electrifying.com and not have an electric car. So I thought, you know, if I'm going to get an electric car, I need to do it properly. And this to me is a beautiful example of an electric car. I've had it for about 17 months now. What do I like about it? There are three things I'm going to tell you I like about it. I mean, I like everything about it, to be honest with you. If I had to pick a few things, firstly, it's the styling. It's an elegant piece of kit, isn't it? I mean, it's beautiful. I mean, I think it's about 4 years old now, since they launched the I-Pace. This version is a couple of years old, and it still looks as fresh today as it did when it was launched. Probably the best thing I like about it, though, is that it's not a giant iPad on wheels. And a lot of electric cars that we see these days, it's all about the tech and the big screen. I'm a traditionalist. I love the feel, particularly inside, of being in a car with lots of buttons and switches. I really like that. Oh, the absolute best thing. Did I say the last thing was the best thing? Because it's not. Cooling seats is the best thing about this car. I can sit in here and within 2 minutes, I'm cool. It's just beautiful. Love that. Absolutely love that about the car. It's better because you use less of the battery. You can serve your battery. So in the winter, you can sit there freezing cold all around. You get the heated seats on. You're not using too much battery. In the summer, today like today, I don't have to put the aircon on if I've only got a few miles left. I can just hit the button that says cooling seats, turn it on to number 3. That gets it coldest. And I'm happy that I'm not using too much of the battery. It's really difficult. The car is totally likeable in almost every respect. If I had to pick a couple of things, I live in London, potholes and bumps, it's pretty firm over those, to be honest with you. That's probably something I would say. Oh, the infotainment system. So when you switch from one radio station to the next, very laggy. Although this car is now 2 years old, I believe that Jaguar have updated the entertainment system to make it better. At least that's what Tommy was telling me. The climate system as well, it's not very intuitive, to be honest with you. It's difficult to change temperature. The beeps bother me. So speed camera warning system, beep beep, fantastic, but it is so loud and I can't work out how you turn the volume down. So actually, if any of our viewers could get into the comments section and tell me how to turn the volume down on the beeps, I'd be so grateful. Well, I hear it's got better, but you know, that's a minor gripe. When you've got a car like this, you know, there's a few things that if they're not 100% to your liking, you can certainly live with. I mean, this is an incredible vehicle. And as I said, I think it's really stood the test of time. I mean, 4 years old in terms of an electric car is almost quite an old vehicle. There's so many new models coming out, but this one still, as I said, is as fresh today as it was when it came out, in my opinion. This is my first experience of electric. Notwithstanding the fact that I'm working with Electrifying.com, I would never go back to petrol. I've never driven diesel, but this is the future, this is the now. I mean, this is the only way as far as I'm concerned. And there's lots of choice of models out there. It doesn't have to be the iPace, obviously.
And then there were two, but the question is, which one is mine?
Which one is mine? Do get your guesses in the comments below, and no fast forwarding the video to the next bit to find out, because that is cheating.
Right, shall we recap?
Yeah.
Because you know what, they couldn't be any more different, right?
They couldn't. I guess they're both white.
Yeah, it's got that pearl finish into it, which is the start of their similarities, actually.
And the end of them. First up, the Tesla Model 3. Now, this has been the best-selling car in the UK for quite a few months in the past year. Not just the best-selling electric car, but the best-selling car overall. And you can see why. It's got brilliant tech, and it also took our award in 2021 for being the most efficient electric car out there. But perhaps the biggest reason for buying a Tesla is the charging network. Those superchargers, they're fast, easy, and reliable.
Now, Peugeot's GT badge is something that gets car enthusiasts excited. And for the first time with the E208, it's on an electric car. It's not without justification either. The E208 produces 135 brake horsepower, which is plenty in a car this size, and gives it impressively sporty acceleration, especially in the 0 to 30 miles per hour sprint away from roundabouts or traffic lights in town.
Right, I think it's time for us to put you out of your misery. Not that you've probably been in that much misery wondering, but let's reveal which is yours, which is mine.
Drum roll.
This is mine.
Obviously, this is mine.
I do not need to ask why you went for Tesla. Would it be the technology by any chance?
I think you guessed right. I think you give me any piece of tech, I'm just a happy boy. But yes, I went for the Tesla Model 3 long range to be exact, because it's got all the tech that I need in it, whether it's self-driving, whether it's the charging network as well. I say that's the tech because it's just the way that it works, is the user experience is just great.
I can't deny the tech on that car is absolutely brilliant. But what about the other stuff that you like about it? Charging network?
Charging network is very important. I think there were two things, obviously we drive electric cars all the time. There were two things that was very important for me. That was the range and the charging network. The range in this is very good. Full charge will get me around 340 miles. That's me, you know, driving normally and all that stuff. And you got a heat pump in there, so I don't have to worry about it in the winter. And then the charging network is great because it's reliable. If it tells me there's 8 available, there's 8 available when I get there, and they're all working. Since I've had it, I've never been to a charge station that's not working or faulty. So that was the deciding factor.
It's that peace of mind, isn't it?
Peace of mind, very, yeah, range anxiety.
Yeah, and also you live in the centre of a city, you've not got access to charging at home, so that really matters to you that works, doesn't it?
Yeah, living in a block of flats, there's no garage or anything like that, there's no garden, there's no front parking or anything like that. So having that charge network where I can plan that as part of my journey made my life easier for me. And I know that when I get there, there's actually going to be a charging point ready to go.
What about the things you don't like on it? Because as much as we do love Teslas, and I love the Model 3, it does have a few bits that niggle me. What about you?
Yeah, I think like everyone else, you ask about this car, it'd be the build quality. There are things that happen. For example, I think about 2 months into having the car, the boot hinge popped open for some reason, so I had to call the Tesla people to come in and fix it. Customer service is great in that sense because they came out quickly and fixed it and I didn't have to pay for that. But also I saw the brake pedals had the welding, you can still see it. It's not a good look.
So here's my question for you, Tommy. Tesla, is it a car maker or a tech company?
I think they're a tech company first and then a car manufacturer afterwards. I think they're manufacturing, being able to deliver them on time, that's a big woe for them, and that's something you'd get from a company that isn't necessarily a car manufacturer.
I love the whoopee cushion, and I haven't lived with one for as long as you have, but I've driven loads of Teslas, and when I get in them, I'm still not bored of it. Are you bored of it yet?
Not yet. I still love it. Every time there's someone new that's getting in the car, it's the tradition. So as soon as they get in, I'll put it on. It's either they laugh at it or they're just in shock as what's going on if they don't know about it.
Well, it may not have a whoopee cushion, but this, of course, is my car, the Peugeot E208.
You know what? First thing before we get into it, some cars suit people. And when I see you, I see this car, I think this is a match made in heaven, actually. But I'm not surprised that you've gone for a hot hatch. it's a good looking car. Tell me, what's your favourite thing about this car?
I'm a bit older than you. I remember the glory days of the old hot hatches, so I love a hot hatch. And for me, this is the ultimate sort of Peugeot hot hatch. Seeing, you know, that badge on the back of an electric Peugeot, I couldn't resist it, obviously.
Right.
But, you know, I've got a bit older since then, and I'm a mum now, you know, and I've got to do school runs. It's got to have practicality too. And actually, I think this combines both really well, so I do like that too. I like the fact that it's got 4 doors, it's quite a lot of room inside. The boot's big enough for all the junk that I carry around with me, which is quite a lot. It's definitely got that balance of it's a car that makes me smile when I get in it. Most of all, what I really love about it is that it does put a smile on my face when I drive it. The chassis is fantastic, the setup, the handling. So I think with this car I've managed to get that blend of it's practical enough for me and for doing all the school runs and the nipping about that I need to do, but it's also a great car to drive.
Obviously, I'm a tech guy, so talk to me about the tech in this.
Tommy, you would hate the tech in this car.
Has he not got enough? Is he old? What's the situation?
Peugeot do some really nice stuff with their tech. You know, I know we've talked about this, and you know those sort of nice 3D dials, and they're really thinking hard about it. But what drives me insane is that I can't get a lot of radio stations in this car that I can get in other cars. It's just a bit rubbish.
That's interesting because that's a really old technology that you would have thought, at least get that right. That's fascinating because see this guy here, everything just works.
It does, but this is a better car to drive and it's very, very well made. So Peugeot are car makers, maybe not a tech company.
Yes.
Okay.
Agreed.
I think we're definitely just got to swap for a week.
Yeah, I'll have a go.
Car share, Tommy, car share. So there you have it, the cars that some of us actually own. And we'd love to know if you own any of them, what you think. So do let us know in the comments below.
And you can find a full review of all the cars that you've seen in this video today up on our YouTube channel. And make sure you subscribe. And guess what as well, if you want to find out more about our community and join the community as well of electrifiers, check out electrifying.com.